Hey folks, I'm here at Fisherman's Supply. And what's the town?
This is Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey.
Okay. With Gary, and Gary's going to take us out bluefishing tomorrow. We're going to get some, what you said, topwater and poppers, catching big blues.
Big blues, up to 15 pounds, about 38, 39 inches right now.
Nice.
All feeding about 3 foot of water.
Cool.
It's going to be a good time.
Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
He's going to take us through his kayak shop, or the kayak section of the shop here, and just kind of show everyone what he has to offer.
Yep.
All right, let's head inside and take a look first.
All right, so this is our kayak area. We have a couple kayaks on display. We have the brand new 2019 Compass. We actually have a leftover PA-14. And then we have the brand new 2019 Hobie Outback. We have a pretty good extensive selection of kayak gear and accessories. We have our Coquetat dry suits. We also have some booties to select from. We have our rod holders, our Yak Attack gear. We're kind of slim on our Yak Attack stuff right now. A lot of stuff got bought out. We're waiting on another order. We have all your panfish portraits, rod holders. We have your lever lock, anchor trolley systems, your cleating systems, every type of fish finder mount that they make. We also have all of your Hobie accessories, your fish finder mounts for your Hobie accessories. You know, you have all of your gear track accessories. You also have your A-Trail accessories. Moving down, we have our spare parts for our drives. We have the older square bars for the older drives. If people want to stick with that, we have the newer version where you just have to push the top button and that releases. This is a newer Mirage Drive 180. We have some actual 21-inch A-Trails that people like to use to upgrade their kayaks. We see them used on the new Outbacks and the older Outbacks, as well as the Compasses, to put, you know, just extra accessories through the back area of the kayak. Have to have your standard safety flags as well, because we have a lot of guys that come into our shop. They fish offshore, they're fishing out front 2-3 miles, they're chasing stripers, they're chasing the big bluefish, they're looking for flounder, sea bass, scup, everything that you can think of on these reefs offshore. And if the wind kicks up and it starts to turn nasty, the Torqeedo is going to be the best way for them to get back in a fast, efficient manner without having to drain their, themselves using the drive.
Nice. You guys will be able to do those installs for folks?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll be taking care of all the installs. I do all the installs here. I am one of 3 guys here that do installs. I'm the primary install guy, though. So I mean, anything from fish finders to Torqeedos, just basic ram mounts or whatever you need put on a kayak, we'll put it on.
Cool. I'm looking forward to getting out tomorrow in the morning for the bluefish.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. Cool. There's gonna be a lot of topwater action, a lot of teeth, teeth on those things. So
cool.
It should be an interesting time.
Nice. Thanks, Gary.
You got it. All
right, it's 10 minutes to 6. We're at the kayak launch. Cool spot, man.
Yeah. It's a nice little launch they put in here. Park was only built a couple years ago, and the township decided that they were going to put this in, and hey, it's free.
Nice.
So,
what are we looking at weather and tide wise?
Right now the tide is high. It's going to be an outgoing tide. We're going to be hitting a lot of grass marshes, a lot of the edges, and flats. There's a lot of mud flats out here in the bay, and they heat up during the day, and at night they retain that heat, draws all the fish in. We're going to capitalize on that early this morning. We're going to go out, we're going to try to find the bluefish and the bass sitting on top of that, still feeding.
So something I wanted to talk about right before we launch, that's a piece of gear, piece of kayak fishing gear that's just as essential as the life jacket in terms of safety, and that is the Yak Attack Visi Carbon Pro. And we both have them. There's my setup. We got the light on already, and Gary's got his, but his is a little different. What's going on there, man?
So I double stack mine. I take the extender and I put it on the bottom. I remove the T-bolt just to give me an extra foot of height. Being out here in the bay and in the ocean, you just want to distinguish yourself a little bit more. And when you're dropping in between the swells, that little bit of height can really make a difference between a boat seeing you and not seeing you in between the swells. So always put the extender on whenever I'm doing a little bit of saltwater fishing. When I'm in a lake, I'll take the extension off and I'll just put it down because I'm not dropping in between wakes.
Very cool. So I grabbed one of my rods, although Gary's got this rod here for me with that popper for the bluefish. I've been doing a little bit of bass fishing on well, South Jersey with Mike Iconelli this week. I was on Ike Live, and you know, I got a nice live target bluegill on there, which don't think makes sense out here. What can we put on this rod, man? I mean, I know we need the leader because of the bluefish.
Yeah. So we're gonna put a steel leader on, and it's just a basic steel leader. This is a 18-inch steel leader, barrel swivel to just a regular clip.
Okay.
And this is gonna prevent the bluefish from biting off.
Nice.
Hopefully biting off anything, but they do get a little crazy.
Right.
And sometimes they do bite the terminal line off.
Cool.
So we're gonna put that on, and I mean the stripers are gonna hit poppers too. So I always carry an array of little poppers for the stripers. Some are made, these are S&S poppers, then you got Rapala poppers, then you have
this one. This is actually, I think, the one while I was down in Pensacola that Marty Mood had me throwing for the big reds.
Probably.
I think I got a 39-inch redfish on that.
I got two of them. You can see that this one has been abused and it's missing a hook.
Nice.
So, I mean, we could do that, or we could throw the small swim bait on there. It's really up to you as far as what we put on that second rod.
Okay.
You said you wanted to get some big blues on it.
Yeah.
So what I think we should do is we should put a smaller popper on it, because the smaller popper will still get hit by the blues.
Okay.
But it also gives you the shot to hit the actual stripers. So we'll put that same popper on that Morgan put on for you.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
You're just gonna make a really long cast. Obviously, for purposes, I'm not gonna make too long of a cast. And it's not gonna be your normal working a popper. You're gonna rip it. You're just gonna keep ripping it, and then when you get near the boat, take it to the side, because they'll come up right here and smash it.
Nice.
So again, you're just gonna take it out. It's fast across the surface. When you get next to the boat, stop reeling and just skirt it along like this, because they will come up and hit it right next to the boat.
Cool.
All right.
So it's tapered up from like 6 feet up to, I'm at 4.3, real gradual taper up, and I had my first blow up from a bluefish, and it was impressive. I didn't get them. I never actually felt them, but like Gary said, you know, you're just moving it fast and creating a lot of commotion. You know, it's not a finessey sort of walk the dog. It's a reeling fast and just splash and crash. He slashed at it and missed it, and then he got it. Hopefully we can keep him buttoned. Pull and drag. How do you know when they're ready? Are they just never ready?
They'll let you know when they're ready.
I got it.
Well, that takes a lot of pressure off.
What, getting the first one?
Yep. You catching the first fish.
Nope. And he unhooked himself. How cool is that? What do you think the weight is?
It's probably about a 6, 7,
8? 8 and a quarter.
8 and a quarter.
8 and a quarter pound.
There'll be some up to 15 pounds in here.
Now, do you eat them?
Nah.
You don't eat them.
Nope.
It's just for fun.
Release for me on the bluefish.
Yeah.
They're very oily, very,
I've had them before, catching them down in Delaware years ago,
yeah.
and I do remember them being oily.
I eat the smaller ones, like the 2 to 3 pound range, because they're not as bloody and oily yet. The bigger ones I use for substrate.
Alright, so I'm using the new Tsunami Slim Wave 7-foot. Did you see that?
I did.
He just tried to hit it right there.
You were saying.
So this is the Tsunami Slim Wave 7-foot, 2 to 6 ounce, 15 to 40 pound line. It's a solid carbon blank. It's not hollow anywhere. It's solid all the way through. You know, they're almost indestructible. I mean, you really have to crank on these things to really break them. They're like a slow pitch jigging rod. The reel is the new Tsunami Invict. This is a 4,000 size. It's spooled with 30 pound Power Pro. I'm using a Tsunami talking popper. I took off the rear treble hook and replaced it with a VMC inline single hook, just to make it a little easier to handle some of these bluefish. I did it mostly though because I use this same plug for stripers, and I don't want the striper to inhale the back end of the plug and get the treble stuck inside of its gullet and then ultimately die. And then we're using just a standard steel leader. You know, mine's a 12-inch, you have an 18-inch. This is the last 12-inch one that I had, so I had it on from the other day when we were out here smoking them. Seems like the fog's lifting now. I'm hoping that the bite's gonna turn on. Judging by that one coming up right here, I'm thinking it's gonna turn on a little bit better than it's been so far. Had a lot of follows. Water temperature's coming up. As this water dumps out of the back bay, it's gonna get warmer. It's gonna, you know, it's gonna pick up. But when Hurricane Sandy came in, it reopened. There used to be a natural inlet right over there next to the bridge, and it reopened it. It completely just took all the houses and moved them. We had several houses that got washed into the bay over there, even on the other side of the bridge. I mean, the marinas were destroyed. Everything was destroyed. This whole barrier island was devastated. Tom's River, you know, all local areas were just, they were hit hard. The way it came in, it basically just came straight in through here. And once it broke through the barrier island, it didn't take long at all for the water to just push in.
How much water?
It was like a 12-foot surge. We had 7 foot of water in our neighborhood. I mean, we prepared, but you know, I don't think you could ever prepare for something like that anyway. You know, it was pretty devastating to all the local residents. And then, you know, now here we are a few years later, and we have everything's growing back real nice. Everything's coming back to life. You know, Save the Barnegat Bay is doing a great job. They're out here. They do cleanups. They do all sorts of functions to help restore, you know, our sedge and our grass islands that we have, such as this one back here. This is just a sedge island, grass island. It's a preserve. They have all sorts of wildlife that nest on it. You can clearly see the osprey nest sitting up there. They put those stanchions up there just so the ospreys can make their nests. Off to the right, we have more grasslands, and it's all protected now, and it really helps. They put up these no-wake zones to keep down the beating that they take and the erosion that it causes, and that's going to help to prevent, you know, the erosion so that the wildlife have somewhere to go, but it also helps with future flooding, and it prevents, you know, the breakdown and letting the water flood right in to the town and into the houses.
He's hooked up.
I think he's mad.
Is he off?
Big him up. Quick release. Quick release is always good.
All right, I'm hooked up. He was retying. I got one here. These are fun. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Not in the. Get
Yep.
out of the fins.
Yep.
Get out of my fins too. Nice. Oh, that's fun. Finally got him. Nice. What a fun fish.
Oh, don't tell me. He didn't come on.
They just never want to give up. They always got a ton of fight in them.
So, we're just tossing this tsunami talking popper and working it with a fast retrieve back. Side to side motion, quick rips, and the bluefish came up and just smacked it. Hooked it with the single inline treble right in the back. Came up, grabbed right on the back of the plug. It was a perfect hook set right in the corner of the mouth. And we were able to hook up and land this beautiful yellow eye monster, as we call him because of the yellow eyes. And now we're going to go ahead and
Hooked up again. go. Look at you. Big Blue. We were setting up the drift again, and I'm just trolling the plug and not even working it. I don't know, just letting it do its thing. I gotta keep it away from that crab pot. There's a crab pot out there. Yeah, I'm not moving this fish real well towards me. That's a better, feels like a better fish. Certainly fighting better. You gotta run to it to pick up the slack. He's probably gonna get next to me and jump. Yeah, and I haven't moved him at all. He's in the same area next to that stupid crab pot that I hooked him. There's a crab pot over there that I'm trying to tow him away with the Mirage Drive, but I have not moved him towards me at all. He's got some staying power. Like, I've reeled myself over to him more than I've reeled him to me. Oh, golly. That's a big blue. Oh man, what a cool animal. Let me get this plug out of his jaw. All right, there she is. 15 pounds of anger. He's still chomping at that boga grip. Nice big 15-pound New Jersey bluefish caught trolling a popper. Who trolls a popper? Apparently I do. Let's go ahead and get this one back in. What a blast. Just trolling again. Trolling the popper. Just letting it sit. I have to tow him away from that marker buoy. I do not like the idea of wrapping this fish around the marker buoy, just the same as the crab pot. I just want to wear him out, moving up, upwind, upstream, and away from that marker buoy. Jump. Oh, the sea lice. You can see that. That's cool. Almost 13. Like 12 and 3/4. 12 and 3/4. All right. Thank you, Mr. Bluefish, or Mrs. Bluefish. See ya. Alright, with the wind picking up, it's time to get the camera down so it doesn't get splashed. We're going to head back to the shop here in a little bit, and Gary's going to show us a little bit about the setup that he's working on, the build, the installation of his Torqeedo Ultralight 403 AC, which he's had on order for a little while. They've been out of stock because they're selling that quick. But his is on the way. We're going to go ahead and put my demo model on the Outback in the shop and show you what that looks like. And he's going to talk a little bit about the steering setup and the throttle and everything else that he's going to set up on his 2019 Hobie Outback. All right, we're back at the shop, and we have set up a demo motor on the 2009 Hobie Outback, and we're going to go over operation and how we've set up steering. But before we even get into that, I'm going to have you look here at the cell phone. It's a post worth looking at by Sel McLeenan in the Torqeedo Ultralight Owners Group, And he has done something really interesting. If you haven't joined Torqeedo Ultralight Owners Group, please do that. You see all sorts of different modifications that people do. But the steering that he had set up, if we zoom in on this rudder drum here, he's put something on there to basically widen the attachment point from where we have it out a little bit further. And the further out you have on this, the more, basically it's going to be better steering range, because you're attaching further out here and then you attach further in here. If we look at what Sal did, he's actually attaching all the way out. So he might even, by bringing that in, he might even get more sensitive steering. So the attachment at the steering triangle further in is more sensitive, but he came up with something very ingenious beyond what we've done by attaching the Dacron line to the screws for the rudder hub. He built something here that brings it further out. Really, really smart rigging. So, but while we're here, I'm going to go over the different operation, of mounting it, how I just set this one up. The first one, we have the motor lift cleat, which is right here, and it is gear track ready. So it's a track mounted cleat, and when you want to bring that up, it comes right up, and then we can cinch it off. This is something that comes with the motor, and it's something by Select Design. So that's the motor lift. If we look at the lines, I ran it back through these existing little loops around the rear tank well. That's actually the perfect, situation. I did not run it through here. Usually you run them through there, but for the purposes of the motor lift, I wanted to be able to take it beyond where that would go. Otherwise it would draw to there, and I want to bring it almost all the way up into the stow position. So I lift that open, but on the reverse lock, which I'll show you real quick, we have the reverse lock guide right here, which is also track mounted. The reason why this is not a cleat like this is that we don't want you leaving it engaged and forgetting about it and hitting something. As soon as you relax, the spring on the back there releases, but if you start it in reverse, it will, it's going to move you backwards. And usually once you're moving backwards, you can actually let go on this, and the tension of going in reverse will keep you there. So let's follow that back, and we can take a closer look. Normally when you hit something with a motor, it's gonna, of course I have it locked in, it's gonna kick up like this, and that's what you want it to do. But if you're in open water and you need to engage that reverse lock, you got that, and it's a really solid connection. Real important, the steering triangle here is on top. When you install it, you want this tube portion to be in contact with this big black pivot drum. Otherwise, the wings of the steering triangle would come into contact with it. So it's a little bit elevated. It is going to clear that now, and that's what you want it to do. So beyond that, you have the stow function, which is nice because we got the Innovative Sportsman rock guard here with the grass cutter to cut the vegetation. It's the right length here that you can put this into the stow function. But we'll leave that down for now, and I'll show you. We have the 915 watt-hour battery, and then this is the Yak Attack Torqeedo throttle mount. So for right now we have it here, but you can put it wherever, you got track all over. You want it to get it in a position where your non-rod holding hand is going to be able to access it, easily without it being in the way. So you'll play around with, finding the right position for the throttle mount, and that's basically where you leave it. So that's it. I know, Gary, you have yours coming soon, and you're going to be rigging it up the same way. and stop by the shop. This is a shop that's newly signing up as a Torqeedo dealer, so Gary will be here. He can help you out with setting it up. So that was an awesome trip this morning, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. See you.